you ever noticed how some website shadows look tight and professional, while others just look messy and bloated? The difference isn't the blur or the color. It's a hidden power inside the box shadow property that most beginners completely ignore. While everyone knows about the horizontal offset, vertical offset, and blur radius, there is actually a critical fourth number value called the spread radius, which always appears right before your color keyword. This single number controls the actual physical size of your shadow before it blurs, and it is a major secret weapon for professional UI designers. To see exactly how it works, we need to pull the shadow completely out from behind our box so we can look at it side by side. First, let's make our box size 150 pixels by 150 pixels so everything fits beautifully on our mobile screens. Let's change our shadow color to dark red. Let's reset our blur to 0 pixels and use a horizontal offset of 200 pixels to push the shadow completely to the right side. Update the box shadow property on your box class to this: box shadow 200 pixels, 0 pixels, 0 pixels, 0 pixels, red. Look at the screen. Because our spread radius, that fourth number right before the color, is set to 0 pixels, the shadow perfectly maintains the default size of our element. By the way, if you completely leave out this fourth number in your CSS, the browser automatically assumes it is 0. Since our light blue box is 150 by 150 pixels, this solid red shadow shape is also exactly 150 by 150 pixels. But watch what happens to the total width and height when we change that fourth number to a positive value, like 50 pixels. Notice how the red shadow physically grew larger in every single direction? Here is the exact math of what just happened. When you pass a number to the spread radius, the browser applies that value to all four sides of the shadow. This means the value is doubled. It adds 50 pixels to the left and right, increasing the total width by 100 pixels. It also adds 50 pixels to the top and bottom, increasing the total height by 100 pixels. So our original 150 pixel shadow has now expanded into a massive 250 by 250 pixel shadow. Now, here is a crucial thing you need to know as a developer. Even though our shadow has grown massive, it does not affect the layout of the web page at all. Box shadows are completely cosmetic. They draw on top of the screen without taking up physical space in the document flow, meaning an enormous shadow will never push or shift your other boxes or text out of place. Let's continue. The exact same math applies when we use a negative number to shrink the shadow. Let's change that fourth number to -5 pixels. Look closely. The shadow has now shrunk inward on all four sides. Following our doubling rule, a -5 pixel spread reduces both the total height and width by 10 pixels, making the physical shadow size exactly 140 by 140 pixels. Now that we understand the physical math, let's put the shadow back where it belongs, underneath our box. And let's add some blur back into the mix. Observe the change. By setting our offsets to 0 and 15 pixels, the shadow is centered and pushed straight down. But notice the visual order of what is happening on screen. Even though the blur radius number appears before the spread radius in our CSS code, visually, the blur shows up after the spread radius. Think of the spread as the skeleton and the blur as the skin. The browser builds the shape's size first, then blurs the edges over it. Because the spread shrunk the shadow's footprint first, the blur has plenty of room to fade out smoothly without exploding or bleeding out of the left and right sides of the box. Just remember this golden rule. When you want a shadow to look clean, use a negative fourth number right before your color to shrink the spread. Now that we know how to perfectly control a single shadow using the spread radius, how do we take this to the absolute next level and learn how to use multiple shadows on a single element for the ultimate premium 3D look? That is exactly what we are breaking down in the very next lesson. Before we wrap up, go ahead and place your shadow back on the right side of the element so you can see your workspace clearly. Now, if you truly understand this lesson, here is a challenge for you. We know our box is 150px wide and 150px tall. Based on the formula we just learned, what will happen to the shadow when we pass a negative spread radius value, like -80px, which is bigger than the size of the element itself? Think about the math, drop your answer in the comments below, and let me see who gets it right. Don't forget to like, follow, or subscribe so you don't miss the next lesson.